today in Sunday school, we learned the reason why the chicken crossed the road was to show the possum it could. My name is James.
I'm Sean.
And this is Mostly Babblin Bibleman. You guys thought we weren't going to do another Bible, man? What's wrong with you? I legitimately love this show. I guess I'm not going to... don't go dirty yet, James. I guess I'm not going to eat pizza anymore. You thought that? No. Huh? Well, I guess I loved ice cream, but it was like, I also hated I loved ice cream, but hated what it did to me afterwards, which was, make my bones vibrate and then think, I'm getting fat and I'm not worth anything if I'm fat. That's on me, not the world, okay?
Or the ice cream. That's not on the ice cream, your self-image of yourself.
No, I think ice cream is bad for I don't know. I don't think we should be eating ice cream.
I don't think we should be eating ice cream for a variety of reasons, including the military-industrial complex involved in the food industry. That being said, if you don't think... I'm here to tell you right now, James, if you were fat, you would be beyond use to this world and beyond lovable, because you already are beyond use and beyond lovable. You are so important to me and the rest of the world. That being said, if your image of yourself is not ice cream's fault. I say let ice cream live. I'm team ice cream here.
I'm just saying that's one of the contributing factors, okay?
Fair enough. But if you do the work and accept Fat James as beautiful and as integral into the world as we all know he is, ice cream won't even have a word to say dip dang daroo about it.
There's this song by K-Flay, or I guess K-Flay has this song where within it she says, I'd rather be skinny and lonely than happy and fat. And I was like, damn, that goes with my, that hit hard.
Dang, that is deep. That's one of those things I sit there and I go, why? But then I know you and other people that are like, no, that is the mental feeling I have. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, speak to it.
And I'm not saying this is good thoughts. Like, I know it's bad. I have an eating disorder. That's on me, like I said. But then I see anyone who's like anywhere near like past my weight and at all, I'm like, man, they look good. How come I don't look good like that? Because I'm you want to know what? Because I'm just borderline ugly. I need to make myself hot.
You are.
No, Sean, just agree. Okay. We need to speed run this episode.
I agree that you are doing the work. That you are doing the work in your head to see how beautiful we all see you are, and proud of you.
Also, I just also need to be stoned to think I'm attractive.
Oh, that's all of us. I almost said that's all of us. It's not all of us. That's my self-confidence. Not appearance-based, just overall confidence.
Amonse, other person who's been on this podcast, she said the same thing. She's like, yeah, man, when I was doing shrooms, all of a sudden was like, man, you want to know what? I can't believe I don't think I look good. I do.
Yo, hey, if you've listened to the last Bible Man episodes or our short-lived Veggie Tales podcast, you know this is a series. Me and James might get into some arguments about faith. Because that's been already, it's happened literally every time we've done these.
You say, I love God. And I say, I love the devil. And that's yin yang.
It is yin yang. Hold on. All right. I love God. I hate Christian propaganda and media. And
what is this propagating? A good lifestyle?
Let me finish. This one is interesting because it's so much of the heart of Willie Ames. Like, he does believe this. I don't think this is just Willie Ames going out there and making a buck. However, I think he sees that this is where it's going. It comes up in the script a couple of times. Again, we'll get into it when we get into it. But so much of Christian media is propaganda. And since it's directed towards children, you can't get into deep questions about faith. You have to keep it surface level. And when you keep it surface level, when it comes to faith, it's such a deep question, things get skimmed over and it veers into propagation. All that to say, the one thing we can agree on, though, is we're all a little bit hotter on shrooms and marijuana.
Yeah, baby. And other people are hotter when you're drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, give me them goggles.
That's why Nicole's drunk so often.
Oh, you're so beautiful, James.
No, we
Okay.
agreed you'd call me ugly, so at least someone would agree with me.
James, I agree with you.
Hey guys, you know I'm from Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling and
Hey.
formerly of Shuffling the Deck, the definitive introductory ICP playlist podcast. You can check them out most nights over on twitch.tv/.
Goose Von Kaiser. It's the Goose.
It's Sean Marciniak.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing?
I just wanted you to give the URL handle because I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah, it's Goose Von Kaiser. It's been Goose Von Kaiser for a little bit. It was Goose VK for a hot second. We switched it back. I liked how Goose Von Kaiser sounded too much.
I like Goose VK because it's shorter. It's, you know what, Goose, some people might not know how to spell Kaiser.
I don't know. Goose VK is shorter, but it doesn't feel finished, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I tried it out. Yeah, I tried it out because it would be shorter and it would be like a lot of algorithmic things, but it just didn't feel complete.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to go Goose Von Kaiser.
Goose Von Kaiser Town, Buffalo, New York. You should change it to that.
I did. I mean, I did all my Discord, because Goose Von Kaiser is a harsh sounding series of words, and it really just means Goose, which was a nickname I had from Kaisertown, which was a nickname and the neighborhood I grew up in. So that's all the name needs. So on Discord and a bunch of my other internet handles, I've changed it to Goose from Kaisertown because that's what it means, and it doesn't sound as harsh as Goose Von Kaiser, the greatest gamer to ever live.
I will say I'm upset that you changed the Discord handle to that because tagging you in things is just this huge long bit of text.
Hell yeah, and that's what I want you to. I want to be remembered as a huge, long bit of text.
Ew.
Something that could have been said in 3 words or less. Let's make that shit a paragraph, baby. That's the Goose way.
Sean, you want to know what will also be remembered as a long bit of text?
Tell me about it, stud.
The Holy Bible.
Okay, yeah, you know what? That's true. That's a lot of words in that there book.
You got Psalms, you've got hymns, you've got Proverbs, you've got Matthew.
I don't know why I thought you were just gonna say math, and I'm I don't think that's the one that wouldn't be in there. Okay, there's Matthew. And there's a Luke, there's a John, there's Revelations, which is the coolest book. And everyone's like, oh, I don't understand Revelations. It's it's not even that hard. And someone had a fun little acid trip. And then now they understand that forgiveness is really what this whole shit was about. The only people who are going to hell are the really bad ones. 99% of y'all, you're getting to heaven. It's chill. Don't worry too much about the multi-headed dragon. Just admit it's a cool-looking blacklight poster, and let's get on with it. That's the book of Revelations.
I think, some people will get a purgatory for a little bit to be like, hey, you did some bad things. We'll leave you in this Shadow Lorgarth from Wheel of Time video game when you don't have the lighting set to the proper setting, and you're just aimlessly walking in the dark, and sometimes you hear little whispers.
James is referencing stream from last night, which we're not even at plugs, but I'm making sure y'all remember to follow twitch.tv/Moxley Speaking Sentai to watch James and Steve struggle in the dark in the Wheel of Time PC game, I assume?
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000s?
It was only because I went to windowed mode. When you go full screen, the things, but my shit doesn't process it. Maybe because I was going to window. If I did display mode, I bet I could pull it off. But then I couldn't have the chat up.
Yeah, and so just make sure you're following Mostly Speaking Sentai to watch James lose his mind, just really lose his shit over a problem. Again, a lot of things that are streaming problems in the modern day, but very solvable problems, as we found out by the end of stream.
Yeah, I wasn't losing my shit about the issue. I was losing my shit because it was so dark that you couldn't see anything because when you go to window mode, it strips down some of the shading aspects, which is just all the lighting tech. So it was truly, I had to use Fireball, and you have a set amount to get through some of these hallways. I'm like, who designed this? And then Steve was looking at reviews and no one was commenting on how dark it was. I was like, this is nuts.
It was so funny because you were legitimately angry at this game.
And
You're like,
no, I was more scared than angry because, like,
but you were also angry.
yeah, I was also angry. But that's on,
Sorry.
whoever. Like, I would say this is blamed on GOG because they should have figured out, hey, we're in the modern era. We can go windowed mode and still have all these special features on there.
You know what? I'm going to put this on user error before I put it on GOG.
No.
Just because when did the game come out?
1999.
So yeah, way before anyone thought of like Twitch or what modern PCs would be like. What GOG is doing is very impressive. They can't be asked to do everything.
Okay, fine.
Popping open to the game before stream, checking out the lighting settings, making sure it's everything.
I did.
Why were you so surprised to see how dark it was in windowed mode with all your streams set up?
But I wasn't going to test it in non-windowed mode because that's not how I was going to play it.
Well, that's the thing. So you tested it in the way you were going to play it.
Yes.
And it was that dark.
Yes.
And you didn't think, hey, maybe this is too dark.
No, but it doesn't get too dark until the second environment.
All right. Well, then I'm back to blaming the game.
There
That's on
we
designers. You son of a bitch. You know what? Actually, I'm bringing back this rivalry. You know who I'm blaming? Steve mother freaking Barnes.
Okay.
That's right. We're bringing this back. I know the last time we had this heated feud, we didn't pay it off with an appearance between the two of us. Sorry about that. Pay-per-views, there was elevated enzyme. That's a very specific wrestling joke for some of us. But the hatred never dies. Steve Barnes, you are my enemy, and this will be solved, I don't know, on a Pissmas or something. We'll figure it out.
Or he might be coming to Chicago this summer, so there's a chance you could come over for a straight to Patreon.
Can we record a podcast while me and Steve are fighting in a cage?
No, I don't own a cage. I don't own a cage big enough for a human being. I do own a cage that has walls that go in and out with like pillows on it for dogs.
Interesting. Huh. Well, because this is not Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, I have no idea what you're talking about.
We've discussed this, but we need to get into Bibleman. We are discussing like episode 11 or something of Bibleman from the Genesis series. Specifically, just go by the title, guys. It's on YouTube. It's on Dailymotion. It's places to view for free. It's Bibleman, Jesus, Our Savior, Part 1. Yeah, you guys better believe Nicole's not doing a two-parter of a Bibleman. You thought we were going to do Bibleman again? You thought wrong. You thought Nicole was going to do a two-parter? Well, guess what? Not only did you think wrong, I think your mind went dumb.
Classically, your mind has gone dumb.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Pull it together. Beautiful listeners, why don't you pull it together, get your heads out of your asses, and understand, wait, hold on, I'm here for a two-parter? What?
Yeah, man.
I got so hyped up by you shitting on the audience, I didn't realize this was a two-parter? Oh my gosh. And I'm curious, James, how well do you know the timeline of episodes? As far as when Willie Ames leaves this series?
It's part 2, and then there are 2 more, and then he's gone.
That makes a lot of sense. If this is your first episode into Bibleman, James, do you have a 5-second recap for what this is?
What the episode is, or what Bibleman is?
What Bibleman is? Because
no, we don't do that.
It's just such an odd piece of media where former child star Willie Ames. Sorry, I jumped into it. I had one apparently.
You take Batman, that other thing with the lightsabers, and then
Star Wars?
Yeah, Star Wars.
Okay.
A little bit of sitcom humor, a little fourth wall breaking, metatextualizing.
A little?
Okay, then we'll say it's Batman, Star Wars, Deadpool, and then jumble it up in a box of communion wafers, and then you got this.
Communion wafers, no union papers. This is very independent, which is...
Thanks. I was going to cut out the part where I messed up and said union, but now I guess I got to keep it in.
It's transitions into what I wanted to... something I noticed, or something that's just about this series that I think is worth knowing. This really is a love project from former child star, I think the show was Silver Spoons, 80s child star Willie Ames, who went down a rough road of chemicals, as a lot of child stars do, came out born again Christian, as a lot of recovery people who suffer from addiction find. And he wrote this show. Like, it's Willie Ames stars, writes, directs. He is the Tommy Wiseau of Bibleman. And I think it's important for this episode because I think he's starting to see some of the cracks. That's why I wanted to know how long. Eventually, I know there is a second Bibleman, and Willie leaves the show that he created. And you're starting to see why here. Maybe not starting to. I have not seen all of them through, but they're definitely, the lines are apparent.
Yeah.
That Willie's thinking about getting out.
Also, real quick, he was Charles in Charge.
Charles in Charge, thank you. All right, Silver Spoons is Jason Bateman, I think.
I don't know. Also, he was in Eight Is Enough. He was in a lot of episodes of that.
Oh, yeah. Like, Willie Ames was a big... I mostly know Willie Ames through The Surreal Life, the VH1 reality show for, like, C to D-list celebrities all living in one house, real world style. That's where I met Willie Ames.
Wait, no. You said The Surreal Life?
Yeah.
No, you met him in Celebrity Fit Club.
I think he was in A Surreal Life first.
No, but he is not.
He was never in Surreal Life?
No, he was just in Celebrity Fit Club.
Okay, excuse me. The VH1 celeb reality block of television.
He was also Hank the Ranger in Dungeons and Dragons the cartoon.
Shit, like the 80s one?
Yeah.
Dude worked. Like that, the dude was everywhere in the 80s. And then coming out of the 80s in like, I want to say Bibleman started in 98, 2000, maybe a little after that.
I thought it was 95.
Is it 95?
Yeah, something like that.
Like to see him come out of the 80s into like this like writer, director, star, like, and it's really just, this show is unabashedly Bible. Like the Bibleman is not just a name. He is out here. Again, I don't think, going back to something I said earlier, if you approach discussions about faith and you're not ready to like have nuance and like deep, like religion is just as much faith as it is philosophy. Like if you're not ready to like dig into those questions, you do start sidling on the side of propagation because you're not having conversations. You're telling someone what to believe, right? And that's not what good does that do us? But like I don't think that was like an active decision Ames was making. I think he's really trying to like have an honest discussion about faith in a children's television show. It's just so weird and fascinating. Like, I'm excited. I want an 8-hour docuseries on Willie Ames creating Bibleman.
Okay, hold on. I have answers.
Okay.
All right, this comes from BeliefNet. So beliefnet.com. Why not just belief.net? This is from there's no date of the article, but it's Willie Ames on Fit Club, Faith, and Fame. So they asked him, tell me about your experience as Bibleman. How did you get the role? Why did you leave it behind? He says, becoming Bibleman was not something that I really wanted to do. I had been a Christian for 6-7 years and had spent most of that time just studying my Bible and different languages and that sort of thing. Children's ministry was the last thing on my mind. I wasn't really a big fan of hanging out with little children, but I had said I wanted to be obedient, and no matter how I tried to back away from the project, no matter how many times I said no, I kept coming back to the fact that perhaps this was something that God would want me to do because it was just being obedient, and that maybe we could reach kids in a way that nobody else had, even though I didn't want to do it. I agreed to take the part. My attitude about the whole thing remained the same for 10 years. There were many, many days I did not want to be a part of it. I did not want to do it. It was hard, and I was away from my family for a long time. There were just many things about it that I just had to persevere through. In the end, I'm glad I did because I was extremely blessed. I met 3.4 million kids a year. How does he know that? We had a huge impact on hundreds of thousands of kids every year. No, that's millions of kids. What are you talking? I guess it's still technically hundreds of thousands. Okay. It still goes on because it will tell you why he left. I ended up being hurt on the road moving equipment back and forth. I blew a couple of discs in my neck and had to have surgery. I never really made the decision to leave that role. The decision was made for me by the company that owned all of Bibleman and all of the products.
Interesting. The products is going to come into it. And excuse me, it was not created by Ames. It was created by one Tony Salerno.
Well, technically, he says in his own words, this is the last paragraph on Bibleman, one thing that many people don't know is that even though I created, wrote, produced, and directed everything and wrote all the books, I never owned a piece of it. I still don't own a piece of it. I was just kind of a hired gun and did things job by job. As soon as I was unable to do that, the job was given to somebody else. And in my opinion, this is now James talking, boy, oh boy, they should have just waited till he got healed from that surgery because a new guy fucking blows.
It was rough. We've seen the last episode we watched was the new guy. So yeah, it was probably Tony Salerno or whoever from Pamplin, I believe is the name of the producer. Like came up to Willie Ames, hey, you worked in TV. We have like the loosest sketch and the loosest idea of a guy named Bibleman. Can you make something with us? And like and he's like, yeah, sure. So I created everything, but I never owned the IP.
Yeah.
Because I was like, look, the episode, Willie Ames, writer, director. I was like, I thought he did that for all of the ones he was in.
I think he did. For most of them, he did.
Yeah, but like never owning it, which is so... God, it's so like in show business, that's such a red flag, right?
Well, it's very prevalent. I'm not surprised by this because in comic books, that is par for the course.
Oh, okay.
And not until recently that you now get credit. When you make a new character and other people use it, you get a small percentage of whatever, sales do in that. And then it actually backfires sometimes because I was reading Batman and Robin Eternal, and on the front page, it's like always Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. And then below it was Bane created by Chuck Dixon and the artist. And I was like, well, I know Bane's going to take part in all of this mess. So like, it's kind of when you see on
credits.
On TV shows that like give like credits and they like give you an explosive guest star role that you wouldn't expect in the beginning. It's like, you should have saved that for the end.
Like the Flash appearing on Arrow.
Or John Stamos appearing on an episode of Step by Step, but doesn't appear until the tag.
Yeah, and John Stamos, as we all know, is a character created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. He's not a real person. Guys, John Stamos is not a real human being, flesh and blood. He was created on the comic book pages and brought to life to sell yogurt and join the Beach Boys.
He sells yogurt?
He had a small Greek yogurt campaign for Oingo, I think.
Oingo Boingo?
Yes.
All right.
Oingo Boingo had a Greek yogurt line, and it was fronted by the greatest Beach Boy of all, John Stamos.
All right, hell yeah. I like that John Stamos Beach Boy. I like Beach Boys with John Stamos.
I don't like Mike Love, though, who was in charge of the Beach Boys at the time John Stamos joined. Mike Love is not a great guy.
Love him or hate him, he Mike Love.
Thank you. I don't know if this siren picked up on my mic, but as soon as you said that, great. It's just love him or hate him.
He Mike Love. Yeah, boy. Christmas '89, y'all. Douche, douche, doo. Santa got a big dick.
I had the time of my life watching this episode of Bibleman.
All right, we got to speed run this, Sean.
Okay.
All right. Today, as I said, Bibleman, Savior, Jesus, part 1. Real quick rundown. As we saw in the previous episode of this, I think it was the disobedience one, that dude Lux or whatever his name is, you know, the guy who just was Jim Carrey.
The Borg.
He got like killed, and like for good. He finally got zapped, even though that one time he got zapped so hard he just turned into a skeleton and like pus blew everywhere. That was in a kid's movie, you know? It's cool. Christianity, baby. The burning bush. That's what I call it when I got the syphilis. So...
Yep.
What am I talking about? That guy died, but now this new man, let me get his full name to show him the respect he deserves. Primodius Drool, intergalactic desperado of destruction and despart of evil. But we'll just call him Drool.
Okay. Yeah, also, like, just real quick, it is shocking every now and again in these Ames episodes, the flashback to the last episode, how like violent and like dude looked straight out of like Star Trek Next Generation, The Borg.
Yeah.
Not like in terms of production value, but just in terms of like, ooh, this is for children. It was cool.
I would say more so like, whoa, they got away with all this copyright infringement.
All day, you know, pulling the collar. Do not look behind the curtain, please.
It's not behind the curtain here. It's behind the shroud.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Of Turin?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's where Jesus's face was preserved. I kiss it every night.
I love you, Jesus.
And someday a production company is going to make a reality show where they take the DNA from that and make a baby, and it's going to be called J2, I believe.
What?
That's a plot of a Sean Murphy comic book called Punk Rock Jesus. It rules.
Hell yeah.
So, Bibleman is now... guys, this is Nightfall. I know we talk about Batman a lot, but this is just, like, this is Bane, what he's trying to do, but with less lackeys, less grandiose, but it's really just trying to, like, break Bibleman down. Or it's also Batman Eternal. Like, all this dude's trying to do is turn the people against Bibleman and just stretch Bibleman too thin until he is too weak to persevere. Bibleman.
It's interesting. When he first talks about his plot, I'm like, the Drool starts talking about his plot. I'm like, oh shit, they're going to be tackling the savior complex that comes with being Bibleman. That's actually, which is a very interesting conversation. The line we draw between taking responsibility and, you know, not doing nothing in front of evil, right?
Yeah.
The line we take there, and also, you know, keeping ourselves humble and grounded and accepting that we are not the savior. We are taking action against evil. That doesn't make us better. That just makes us, that really is kind of the bare minimum.
Yeah.
For being a human. I thought that's where they were going. No. It's not.
Or I was expecting, like, I am going to turn Bibleman into a false idol, so then everyone will forget about Jesus and only focus on Bibleman, and then Bibleman has to do what Batman did at the end of The Dark Knight and say, like, no, I'm not the hero they need, Jesus is.
Which is kind of what he does, just like in a very, like, right? That is kind of what happens. It's just like, there's no real struggle of Bibleman realizing that's what's happening and turning around. It's just him. He goes on a daytime talk show and says, guys, stop. It's not about me. It's about Jesus. Actually, and I take it back because it's not like giving Jesus credit. He's going on this daytime talk show. There's a lot of crime happening around the city. Bibleman can't keep up with all of it. So he goes on a daytime talk show and he says, guys, it's not my fault. It's Jesus's fault. Blame Jesus. And everyone's like, what? He's like, please stop blaming me. I'm not in control. Jesus is. This is all Jesus's fault. Let's get him.
Hashtag blame Jesus.
Hashtag blame Jesus. And then they chase Jesus through town with pitchforks and rocks.
Guys, let us know on X. Hashtag blame Jesus at MSS Pod. What do you blame Jesus for? The sky, the sun, the moon, or the fact that I'm ugly?
Stop. But also, I support you expressing yourself however you must.
Yeah. I'm gonna carve my face anew.
Well, okay, now hold on, Batman villain.
Yeah, why not?
Because you're beautiful just the way you are.
Oh my God, who are you? One Direction?
Yeah. Wait. Oh shit. My cover has been blown. James, I gotta go. I gotta make some calls.
He's
beep up. Hello, Harry. They're on to us. We got a jet, baby.
Oi, this is Simon Cowell. You
Hey,
cold?
Yes, Simon, my cover's been blown.
Oh,
They know
yeah.
I'm One Direction.
Remember, I'm the one who produced you.
I know, Simon, Daddy, and thank you so much for producing me, but I'm in hot water. If everyone finds out I'm in One Direction, I'm never going to get a moment's sleep. I'm going to be like Bibleman up in these streets. Everyone's coming to me asking why it's my fault, and I'm trying to blame Jesus, in this case, you, Simon Cowell, for you are my Jesus. Amen to you.
You're very welcome. Speaking of hot water, I get hot water when I'm drinking anything besides Coke. I
Simon,
throw up a little bit in my mouth when I drink Pepsi, Faygo Cola, RC, whatever the great value is.
Of course. Simon, has anyone ever told you you sound exactly like Adele?
What are you talking about? Okay, now I'm getting a little... no, because it is Adele now. I can't believe you'll say that. This is actually pretty fucking different. You know, I bet it was say like an egg continent, but it's like an semblance. You know what I'm saying? But that's when I just get a little flustered. Now, what people don't know is me, Adele. I have beautiful hair. I'm playing with it right now.
Yes, you are.
I'm not talking about, a burning bush like James mentioned earlier.
No one thought you were talking about your
maybe
pubic hair when
James
you said
was.
you were... Okay, James
I was thinking that.
Thanks. Thanks, James. Okay, Adele, Simon, I love talking with you. You both know that.
Simon left. We hung up on him. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm in James's studio.
I know, but we are in the middle of a podcast.
What you guys talking about?
Bibleman?
Oh, man, that's fucking propaganda if I've ever heard. Get out of here, Adele. Get out of here. We can't have two of you.
All right, bye, Adele. Thank you for playing with your hair and clarifying that it wasn't your pubic hair.
She just did two middle fingers. I think one for you, one for me.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She appears on This Existed in Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get note by note.
Okay.
Bibleman was not afraid to deal the final blow to that guy that he went onto that electrical chair, unlike Batman.
Yeah, going back to that recap from the top of the episode, he does just murder this dude from the last episode.
He's a demon, so I think it's fine.
Probably, but like it is pretty... I get it's just like it's violent and it's shot in a way that looks very like I just kept getting like Star Trek Next Generation, but like I think one of the interesting things about that Star Trek is that it does have some of that late 80s, early 90s comic book grunge, some of that Frank Miller atmosphere to it.
2 thumbs down to Frank Miller.
As a person or as an artist?
I've just read one thing by him. It was his Spawn Batman, and I was like, this is really bad. Is this how he writes?
Ah, shit. One of my favorite takes on Frank Miller came from Ian, a dude I knew in college, who was just, anytime Frank Miller sits down to write a beloved IP, there should always be one, just Ian, actually, just my friend Ian in the corner going, hey, Frank, are you writing, you're writing a woman right now? Yeah. Is she a sex worker? They can't all be sex workers. Frank, is the woman you're writing right now a sex worker? He has a very, he doesn't write women very well. Unless they're sex workers, to be fair.
And I'll be honest, in the Batman Spawn thing, I don't think there was a single woman in there.
Yeah, it's not his strength. Never really has been.
So then we get this intro. This new intro sucks. We've talked about it before. He's just like, and he saw God.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I think it was like Creed, but with a different singer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, if Creed, like the original Bibleman, if Creed covered that theme song, oh my God.
Yo, honestly, 96 Creed... Well, I think the only problem is by 96, nobody knew, they weren't telling people they were a Christian band yet.
Well, no, I'm saying today.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying yesterday. Good conversation.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
Why do you all stop bringing up Creed?
I didn't bring up Creed this time. Wait, yeah, I did. Never mind. Yeah, I can't help it.
Oh, yeah, it's
him.
Creed, but a different guy, I guess. And it's not Creed.
No, but what if it was Creed, but like with Tom DeLonge is where I was going.
Oh, that would be good.
Right?
Which one's Tom DeLonge? Is that the guy I like, or the guy that's like fine?
Fighters. I think Tom DeLonge is the guy who believes in aliens and has the "you want my time on me" like the really high pitched. I can't hit it right now.
He's the guy from Boxcar Racer as well.
Oh shit! I do not know that band.
Oh, it's Boxcar Racer was a side project with him and Travis Barker during a time when Mark Hopkins was like, "Hey, I need a little break," so they just did this. He was a little slighted by that. He's like, "Wait, what? Huh?"
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, maybe we should have talked about it, but you did say you wanted a break, and then they just like they're very deep emotional songs, but still in like this like nice Blink-182 style.
Hell yeah. We should note, this is the speedrun edition of this. This is the most tangenty and distracted. Not the most. It's up there, though.
Yeah, mostly not Babblin Bibleman. So in the chyrons that happen to say like, hey, this is the Bibleman mansion, the first one says, question, why did the chicken cross the road? I was like, we better not have to wait till at part 2 to find out the answer. Then the following chyron says, to prove to the possum it could.
I missed that on screen, and hearing that now, that makes no sense.
It doesn't. I would have said so he could find Jesus.
Yeah, like is that, maybe it's a statement on, you know, the story when the devils takes Jesus up to a mountaintop and he's like, hey, you know, if you were really the son of God, you would fucking jump off the top of this mountain and be chill as hell. And then Jesus is like, dude, that's not what this is about. Thou shalt not test the Lord your God. If you're running around testing him all the time, that's not faith. That's, you know, some other weird shit.
No, Sean, Willie Ames just likes weird humor.
Is that a joke?
Yes.
Wait, oh, what? I'm more confused.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Next note, I beg of you.
So these,
What?
like, if you're going to have a character with fake teeth, one, make sure you can talk with those fake teeth and be legible. And two, if you can't, you gotta ADR the bitch.
Although the fake teeth, which this is from the villain, the Drool, does give us the line read, show Bibleman, which is...
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Show Bibleman. I'm tattooed across my abdomen tomorrow.
I thought it was Bibleman.
Was it Bibleman? Maybe it's Bibleman.
Maybe it's multiple. I don't think he calls him Bibleman once.
Bibleman. You know, it's a short I, and a lot of people, because even the daytime talk show host calls him Bibleman, like it's the last name.
Oh, that's because I believe they are the same people.
That's the same actor?
I believe it's the same actor, and my guess would be Sammy Davies is him the greatest trick the devil ever said. It wasn't me, but you know, I get into one of those notes later, but
the greatest trick the devil ever played was hosting a daytime talk show as Sammy Davey. Okay, I buy that.
I loved that Sammy Davey, like it felt so real, and this feels very commenting, like if Trumpsters watched this, they'd be like, well, fucking Bibleman went woke, because they're talking shit about people like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it does, the plot, like we talked about before, I wrote down that it does become a false idol plot, that he is turning Bibleman into the false idol as a distraction for God and Jesus, which is a very Christian look at faith. I'm not going to, that's fine. But it does really hit. The woman storms the stage. We're jumping ahead.
This old lady, that's the funny part. Like, that's a joke. Just this maybe 78-year-old, maybe older woman.
Probably older.
Just like,
yeah, I put her in her 80s.
Shuffles up to be like, I'm going to punch you, Bible Man. It was really good. This episode was good.
I mean, yeah. I'm always going to, because I grew up Catholic Church, because I don't know, I'm really into faith now, and I think Christianity and this sort of monopoly of faith, this you can only have one religion, is gross, and it does more harm than good. So Bibleman is always going to rub me a certain way, and I do not enjoy the fourth wall breaks.
I do.
I'll say this episode. Do you want? Can we talk about this?
Wait, which fourth wall break?
I guess, can we talk about the fourth wall breaks as a whole? Or do you want to wait till we get to another section?
Wait till we get, there's one coming up.
All right, then let's keep going.
So we're in the Bible cave. Yeah, the Bible cave. And
The Bible cave, the Bibli cave.
Yeah, the Bibli cave.
Yeah.
And these fuckers, him and Codes or whoever this is now, they're talking. And then all of a sudden, Bible Girl comes in and she's like, oh, yeah, just got back from vacation. I feel like a completely different person. And they're like, I don't see it, whatever. That's because it is a completely different actress.
It's okay. That shit. Then my fourth wall count is off. I did not realize they Sarah chalked her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Word. It's so hard. It's also hard because I'm watching this at 1.25 speed. I think James is as well. And when one actor has like a decent like handle on the pace, and then everyone else is like, sounds reasonable at 1.25. It's hard because she's doing the best job, but she sounds the worst because we cannot watch this show at normal speed. It chugs if it doesn't, which honestly makes sense. That's not even this is not Ames's best acting work, but he's also writing and producing and directing. He's doing a lot. I'm sure he is spread the actual Willie Ames is spread thin as hell by this point.
Also, he's doing live shows, and as we read, was being a roadie?
Oh wait, I forgot he mentioned that. Yeah. And I'm sure there was part of this, like, I can't let this go, not because it's just a job. This is also my passion. This is my faith. This is like, he was even talking about, like, no, this is not just a TV show. This is a ministry for children. I'm a child minister at this point, which is true. You are preaching to children via televisions. So that this is more than just a job. This is something you care about. That's the thing. I'm curious. I don't know how good of people this production company is, because in my experience, employers will take advantage of you if they find out that it is a passion project. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, oh, you love this? That means we don't have to pay you. Or we will ask you to work more hours because this means so much to you. More hours than really you should be, or more responsibilities than we're willing to compensate you for, or even like you can handle. Ames is stretched. So yeah, anytime any criticism I have, even if when it's directed at Ames, I'm not really blaming him, Yeah. I'm blaming a lot of other people.
I don't have criticism at all besides, they should have gotten different fake teeth.
Of course.
That's my only criticism for this episode.
I have some.
Also, the song was kind of shit. They always have like an original song each time. This one was just lackluster. Well, we're still on this first scene. There's a little bit more. They're trying to figure out like, hey, what's going on? We got this spike in craziness. Oh, because they're like, systems went down and they're like, what's going on? And Bibleman Willie Ames, what's his real name?
I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
Why? Mark, I think.
I know it's not Mark.
Okay, Dave.
I know it's not Dave, but he says...
Dave Bible Dragon.
He says Codes, or whatever this guy's name is, engage all that Y2K panic-induced equipment that we never used.
Yeah. What? Huh?
This was like 2003, It's still in the zeitgeist, bitch.
It's not. It's like, it's this weird, like, I don't care about this show, so I'm kind of making fun of it, is what all the fourth wall breaks kind of read. And all these, like, commentary jokes, yeah.
Okay, so I guess Chris Jericho was like, oh, yeah, I guess I don't care about this WWE thing, because even into, like, 2005, Y2J, what the fuck is that referencing?
It's not about what he's making fun of, it's the tone. And not making fun of, I shouldn't say making fun of, because you're not every joke you're making fun of. And in that case, that's not even a joke, right? That's just, I am so important. In the Chris Jericho, I am so important. Fuck Y2K, it's all about Y2J.
But he would read it the same way as Willie Ames would. He's like, hey guys, engage my Y2J.
What?
Yeah.
No one has ever said engaged my Y2J.
He's always saying, hey, would you like some pink bubbly?
A little bit of the bubbly. Yeah. Well, where Willie Ames is making a joke, and this becomes an interesting commentary on jokes. so often, and you'll find this as someone who like started my improv career after years of stand-up, right? If you ever, this is a very narrow margin, but if you ever are a stand-up open micer, amateur extraordinaire, then start studying improv, something you will find is that your go-to to make jokes removes you from the scene, because most of the time our jokes are a commentary on what's happening around us. It's an overplayed trope, but the idea of, well, that just happened. That's like, in some sense, that sentiment is the core of so many jokes. So what Willie Ames is doing, especially with these fourth wall breaks, he's taking himself out of the piece, out of the world. And I know we talked about this last time. Bertolt Brecht would use these fourth wall breaks, who is an old playwright, mid 20th century playwright. He would purposefully use these fourth wall breaks and these commentary style jokes so that you would not be immersed in the story and instead be focused on the message. And I don't think that's what Willie Ames is doing here. I think this is him really trying to, as a writer, stay excited about this piece.
Yeah, why not?
Because it doesn't play. It makes me not care.
Also, if he's being run ragged, it might be like, well, I just need to get these scripts out. He might be doing a formulaic every single month.
Which is what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to be clear before. I'm not blaming Willie Ames, but I'm also not going to give praise for less than great work.
I loved this episode, guys, but real quick. I know
you did.
Sean, you said, wow, like this analogy might be, very narrow niche. You're not the first person to explain like going from stand-up to improv to me. And like, it's wild that, because Craig, who I work with, he teaches improv, and he says like it's a challenge for stand-ups to get that you are part of an ensemble, opposed to like, because it's always, they have to play to the crowd. So the crowd is him when he's teaching improv. So like, they'll kind of like look at him and be like, when they say the joke, and he's like, no, stay in the scene, scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Craig, who also taught me improv. He was one of my first teachers. Like, have we not talked about that? Yeah.
No.
Craig was one of my first teachers when I got out here.
Whoa.
Yeah. I love Craig. That's why I'm like, I gotta come into the store sometime and say hello, Craig, and him see if he remembers me. I doubt he will.
Well, Saturday, I think we both work.
Yes, we do. Oh, both you and Craig?
Yeah,
so
both,
do
yeah.
I.
Oh,
I
dang
also
it.
work on Saturday. But like, yeah, it is weird. And I guess it's just very niche for the listeners who are like, I was neither a stand-up nor an improviser. But yeah, it is this real thing of like, you're going out there and you're looking at the audience and you're like, even the way you're thinking, you're going from punchline to punchline, where in improv, to make it really work, huge part of it is the world building. Like, you can get so far with just dedicating yourself to your scene partner and the truth I'll use truth in quotes, the story, the truth you're building on stage.
The truth in what, though?
Stage work.
Or what else?
Your scene partner.
No, okay, all right, fine. Not the truth in comedy.
Drama? Yes, the truth in drama as well. Thank you, James.
No,
anyway.
in dramedy. Speaking of fourth wall breaks, we get another one in this same scene, which is Willie Ames says, oh yeah, I think something crazy's about to happen. And then something crazy happens, and Bible Girl said, Bibleman, how did you know? And he like looks at her and says, I wrote it that way.
Exactly. Which, it's fine, but it does. That's the idea of going from joke to joke and not going from story beat to story beat in a way that like, but when you do that and you take those side turns, your story is so secondary. And in this instance, in this show, it really shouldn't be. Like this is a big two-parter season ender. Like, this is a character that's come back, has He stole the evil computer from the man you just murdered, demon you just murdered. Like there are stakes. Why are we undercutting this so hard? That's not the worst one. That one's kind of cute.
But because you still need levity. It's still jokiness, you know? Oh, I guess Ghostbusters can't joke. I guess Deadpool can't joke.
Joking is one thing. This level of joking at the expense of your world. At the expense of joking at the expense of world building, which is something in improv you learn. You can joke. You can create jokes and have fun and have levity. But there will be times where possibly going for the joke will come at the expense of your world, of the truth you're creating.
I think it's just campy goodness and it's fine.
I think it's cheesy, corny, not that funny.
Well,
yeah,
we find out the guy, this drool man, he's like, hey, I'm going to destroy those church-going nitwits, but I'll spare those rad chads in the youth group band.
Thank you. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Where are we in the shows? We gotta stop talking about the nature of humor. I need to shut up and let you get on
that's
that
not
bit.
me.
It is you because you invited me on the podcast. You know what Bibleman does to me.
Yeah, it makes you go, oh, it makes me randy, baby.
Adele, get the fuck out of here right now. Thank you so much for being here.
No, this is me, Austin Powers, baby.
Austin Powers, has anyone told you sound exactly like Adele?
No, I don't. I sound like a little kitty cat. Yeah.
James, you gotta get us back on track here. Austin Powers will destroy us all.
So Bibleman's like, hey, set me up, guys. Give me all my armor. You know, it's like the belt of divinity, the chest plate of chastity, the sword of salvation, but he also gets the rifle of damnation.
Yeah. Cue Doom music.
Man, it'd be so cool if he had just like a gun. Like, okay, so in the Batman Who Laughs, in the Batman Who Laughs, there's a Batman from a different universe that has like that he uses guns. When he picked up the gun from Joe Chill after he shot his parents, like Bruce just says like, fuck you, pretty much, and just shoots Joe Chill to death. And then he like grows to become like this military state in Gotham. But like he looks so badass. Like I know that's American conditioning on my mind to be like, guns and cigarettes and sunglasses and leather jackets are cool, kids. Terminator style. So yeah, it would be cool. Like a Batman Who Laughs, the Bible man who curses.
Okay.
You know, we get a multiverse of Bibleman, and there's a Bibleman with just a gun, and he's like, this is a rifle of damnation. You've been judged.
Finally. Give Bibleman a gun.
Please.
No guns. Too many guns.
Not enough in Bibleman.
Man, do I want to get into Harley Quinn and Deadpool's fourth wall breaks versus Bibleman's fourth wall breaks?
No.
Okay, then keep talking about the plot, Daddy.
We get a chrome BM and it's nice.
Wait, what's a BM? Like
Bibleman?
bowel movement? Oh, okay. I thought like as a bowel, like someone just took a shit, but it came out chrome.
I wish.
Same here.
Came out Google Chrome.
I wrote down how many fourth wall breaks, but I didn't write down what all of them were.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I'm good at this.
So this is what we get, them fighting for the first time, Drool and Bibleman. This is when we first get him to say that. Bibleman says, the Lord is my rock and shield and heart thrust in him? Oh, and my heart trusts in him. No, you want to know his heart thrusts in Jesus.
Trust in the thrust. Honestly, if you're not trusting those you're thrusting with, that's why you're so miserable on your speed dating nights. Thrust with trust. Thank you.
Say, I trust that you're actually on the pill. I trust that you're clean. I trust this condom won't break.
I meant more in terms of open communication.
Yeah, and you've communicated while you're thrusting, you're saying all these words.
Oh, you can do that before.
And every time you thrust, she says yes after you say the question. I trust that you're not related to me. Yes. I trust that you're not a ghost in disguise. Yes. No, she says, no, yes. Wait. You paused on that one. No, you went a little too deep. And then you're like, wait a second, I'm not feeling anything. I'm going right through you. And she says, I'ma keep you.
Can I keep you?
She doesn't need to ask.
Oh, cute. Off mic, James has suggested that I sign up for MILF Manor.
Uh-huh.
And I gotta tell you, if what you just described is how you envision MILF Manor going, I don't think I'm gonna show up. I don't think that show's for me.
No,
Sorry.
MILF Manor goes like, you show up like, yeah, most of the dudes are like ripped hunks, but then like you show up and they're like, well, what's he? And then you like do it tight 5 and they're like, oh, do my tight 6. Because, you know, like a woman's vagina is generally about that deep, but it can stretch, guys, when it's horny.
All right, calm down. It can stretch, guys. Guys, I need you to put down the pitchfork, Timmy. I need you to know these vaginas, they can stretch.
Oh,
okay?
You want to know what? You say like, yeah, you liked my tight 5. Now check out my tight 6. And they're like, whoa, you were circumcised too heavy, so it's so tight. It's popping like casing on a sausage that's been overstuffed.
They say that every time. If any series of words go into my obituary, it's going to be, you were circumcised too much. It's too tight.
Uh-huh. You got that extra mommy stitch on you.
All right.
So the guy leaves, Bibleman goes back, and he's like analyzing the stuff they found around him, and he's like,
make sure you Google what a mommy stitch, or make sure you Google what a daddy stitch is if you want to be angry at shitty doctors today.
Ooh. Yeah, it's like, then it's not gonna fit, you know? It doesn't tighten up the inside, it just tightens the whole, it's bad.
No, it's an abomination caused by patriarchy running the medical industrial complex. It's bad. Daddy stitch is a bad thing.
You want to know how I got my mommy stitch?
Joker, has anyone ever told you you sound exactly like Adele?
No.
You want to know how I roll in the deep?
You want to know what? I'm going to tell, if I ever meet John DiMaggio, I'm going to say, yeah, my friend's always like, how come that dude always sounds like Bender regardless what character he's doing? Then he's going to find you and smack you.
Wait, I've never said that about John DiMaggio. I love his work.
You loved him as the Joker.
Yeah, especially, I loved how much he sounded like Bender. I'm kidding. John, I'm kidding. I was playing along with the bit. Thank you for your years of funny and fun voices.
But then you say, but you sometimes do sound like Adele.
Well, everyone sounds... No, I shouldn't say Adele. I should be saying Dennis Miller, because James, all of your impressions in a long enough timeline will turn into Dennis Miller.
All right, babe.
Oh, what's happening? Where are we in this episode?
So they're like, oh yeah, there's all these like hybrid chemicals, and then they said and saliva, and then Bibleman's like, that's right. With these hybrid chemicals, if exposed to saliva, will explode. And I'm like, what hybrid chemicals do I need to find to spit in for it to have the reaction of explosion?
Oh, man. My mouth. You spit in my mouth, I explode with pleasure and gratitude. That's I was gonna say that's my Hinge profile. It sounds more like a LinkedIn bio, but for sex.
You want to know what? You want to know what hybrid chemicals explode with my saliva?
Which hybrid chemicals explode with saliva?
A hot stream of squirt, baby.
Yeah, because James is sexually aroused by Off Sprite soda brand Squirt.
Well, it's not Off Sprite because it is it's citrus or not. It's grapefruit flavor.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, it's not lemon lime.
I know the most pop I've ever drank were on our Piss Miss Fago episodes. I famously never enjoyed the fizz of pop growing up, and then years later just never had a taste for cola. So I'm the weirdo, okay?
Yeah, you are.
I'm the freak. I'm the strange kid who's removed from the bowling party to stand outside in the rain while all the other fun children drink their pop. I get it. But you know what? You know something, James and listeners of Mostly Babblin' Bibleman? I just don't give a fuck.
Whoa, man, you sounded a lot like Triple H there. So,
Rolling in the deep
so the guy is like, oh yeah, if I blow my nose, it'll explode. And I'm like, exploding blow.
Nice. It's like colon blow, but more C4. It's like colon blow, but more C4.
Ooh, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Wait, colon blow?
Wait, I'm pretty sure that's a SNL sketch. It's not a real product.
Oh, okay.
Halfway through, I'm like, this is not a real product. This is a Saturday Night Live sketch. We're just going to move forward and hope nobody notices.
All right. I love that this dude is singing on a play school karaoke machine. That was really good.
Yeah, and it was a fun song. Better song at 1.25 speed, but fun little... His whole kind of gimmick is that he's a bad lounge singer.
But he's also Oigle Doigle. Who's that guy?
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of Jerry Lewis in him.
That guy has been on other episodes as a different villain, and he's just doing Jerry Lewis.
Dude brings in, was he the guy that was the anti-Santa Claus?
No. I think that's a completely different production, and I think only Codes and Bible Girl really were carried over.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely Jerry Lewis coded. I enjoy, especially in a villain, this like bad lounge singer. There is something. I was chatting on Pander Sarah's stream. Shouts out. But the idea of delusional confidence is such a fun character trait to play with. Someone who, this guy, he's gross. His name is the Drool. He lives up to the name. He looks like he smells terrible. And like his power comes from breaking in and stealing another more powerful villain's supercomputer. That's why he's so powerful, is that he didn't earn this. He took this from someone else. He is delusional, but so confident. And it works so well, especially in like Bill Murray's bad lounge singer, or anytime you see a bad lounge singer trope. They're so fun because they are so absolutely delusional and absolutely confident. And to me, that's a fun joke that like plays into your world building. It doesn't betray your character or your story. And we can all see immediately, like, yeah, this guy has nothing to be confident over, and yet he is. And because we're rooting against him, because he's a bad guy, it's fun to laugh at him. I love it. Yeah, I love bad lounge singers.
I'm a pretty good lounge singer.
Adele, you're the best.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
See you later.
Bye. All right, James.
So then we get this area where we're getting a bunch of news reports showing what's happening to the city. And it's a bunch of newspaper articles saying, where's Bibleman? Bibleman isn't helping as much as he should be, et cetera, et cetera. But it's overlaid with sometimes to like show like the havoc happening in the streets, just like inverted, meaning like the color has been inverted, of the Berlin Wall being taken down.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It was wild.
The Berlin Wall. So, in the canon of Bibleman, the reason the Berlin Wall was felled was not to create unity and to free and liberate the people of the Eastern blocks. And it was to create chaos and sow dissension against Bibleman.
Yeah, I guess.
God's plan is to leave the Berlin Wall up and to let Bibleman get a minute's rest. And then the Drool said, no, I'm taking down the Berlin Wall.
Maybe in this town it's the Bible Wall, not the Berlin Wall.
This is...
I mean, they weren't really saying that it was the Berlin Wall. They were just like using that as stock footage.
That is not stock footage. You can't, certain things are not stock footage. I'm sorry. That's huge historical linchpin turning point moments in time and space. That's not stock footage. I'm sorry. It's not. It can't be. James, I can't let it be. Do you understand? I can't let that become stock footage.
Well, too bad it's stock footage now, just like the planes crashing into the World Trade Center. Stock footage now.
What do you think happened? What event has happened in Bibleman history that caused 9/11?
All right, let's think. I guess it's just like a way, like they say, well, if God was real, why would he allow this to happen?
And then they point to the trade centers.
Yeah, and they're like, wait, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. And they go, exactly.
Oh, wow. And then Bibleman just shows up. Faith is like believing in the World Trade Centers, even though, ooh, and then he pulls his collar.
And then he's on the Sam Davies show trying to defend, like, if me, Mark Wahlberg, and other people could have been on those planes, we would have taken down the devil.
Mark Wahlberg is a huge Sam Davies guy. If Mark Wahlberg was that 80-plus-year-old little woman who tried to charge at Bibleman on the set of the Mark Davies show, I don't think Bibleman's getting out of that situation. I just think Mark Wahlberg shuffles over his corpse.
Well, wait, no, Sean, you know that Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be on one of those flights, right?
No, I know what you're referencing.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think, did he straight up say like, yeah, if I was on that flight, it wouldn't go down like that. Cool. Good job, Mark.
And then, like, everyone's turning against Bibleman, and then Codes.
Yeah,
what is the guy's? Is it Codes?
I don't care.
It's Cypher. Yeah, I think it's Cypher.
I thought it was Codes, but Cypher? Okay.
Yeah, Codes was, I think, the first one, and now it's Cypher.
Okay. That's the Bible boy, the sidekick, right?
Yes. So he says, after Bible girls, like, whoa, they're really going crazy, they're turning against him. He says, never underestimate foolish people in a large group.
Which true. I always give a lot of credit to, I don't know, I buy that. I like that line.
It's real good.
Yeah. I've always tried to give, when I'm trying to be like forgiving and trying to be like, meditative, all is one. One of the things I find remembering to keep myself grounded is so I'm not like, walking to the middle of the street in a dangerous situation, is as much as I believe in a person, as many and every person, people can get crazy. You get a bunch of people together, you give them an ideology and a little bit of fear to spurn that ideology. All of a sudden, yeah, like it's weird. Like everyone's problem, both on the Mark Davies show and I guess in the world, is the Superman idea which also does play into a bit of the don't be a savior. Why aren't you doing everything, Bibleman? Why can't you why can't you be everywhere all at once? Which is like, that is a huge part of like why you are not a savior. You can help, you can do good things, but you cannot be everywhere all at once. And it's irresponsible. You spread yourself too thin. Maybe you take on too many credits for this weird TV show your friends at Pompey Industries throw your way. And all of a sudden you're not doing any one thing well because you're doing everything mediocrely.
Yeah. I think it was in Dark Metals, that the DC series, that Superman said, it is crippling. I cannot sleep because I hear people screaming all the time because of how well I can hear. It sucks. It hurts me that I can't help everyone, knowing when people are in trouble, but I just can't. But we need to get through this.
Real quick, and this brings me to my one-line segment. Superman did it better. All right, thank you so much for coming to my one-line segment. Superman did it better. James?
The actual recorded song in a studio with the number was pretty cool, but reminded me of Gwar. There is a specific Gwar, like it's like all lounge singing, like jazzy, but then gets like punk rock metal in the hooks. Watch that music video. I forget what it's about, or what it's called. Check that out. It's on that one that we watched with Steve for Kaiju Lycon, Phallus in Wonderland, I think it was. Bibleman says something like, you turn truth to myth, and I was like, that's wowzer. Like, it was a good line. I don't remember. I was like, maybe I should read this fucking Bible. But we find out about Revelation Code Omega, but I want Revelation Code Amiga, okay? I want to play some worms, baby.
Yeah, great. I'm not allowed to comment on jokes anymore. We are too over time. I can't even yes and. We're so short on time.
And then, like, this is when I was like, this is hella Batman, but if Christian media is like 10 years behind major pop culture. Like, this lines up with Nightfall perfectly. And then him with a Bible saber on a carousel is great. And this looks very Carnival of Souls.
I was going to say, yeah, it's anytime fights at carnivals, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, whether it's in Bibleman, in an ICP song, maybe it's in an episode of Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark, they just look very cool.
Oh, yeah.
I would, if I was a fighting game character, I hope my stage would be in a carnival after the lights have gone out and everyone's gone home, because it's a really cool fight. It's a really cool setting.
Well, we still need some lights on, because carnival lighting is like, you don't need to set up any other lights. It's just beautiful lighting.
Very true. God, going to a carnival at night it's the best.
Yeah.
I think that was my favorite part about like transitioning from a young kid into like a teen that could kind of like go to the carnival on his own. Whereas like all of a sudden I can like go to the carnival at night and stay a little bit later. And the lights are just, fuck, man, it's an experience.
It's like you don't even need to do drugs, man.
No, you just do because you want to.
Yeah, do drugs at a carnival, guys. Horror movies that take place at carnivals, I love them. We don't have time.
No.
Funhouse, that one. Toby Hooper.
Yeah, also a great musical.
And then my last note is, what's his nuts? Bibleman says, I can do all things through Christ, and I can too. Like when I was a kid, I would lick my bedroom walls because they tasted like Runts candy. I did that through Christ.
Oh, and through Willy Wonka, I think.
Oh, I did not get that idea from Willy Wonka. I think I would just like licked the wall and was like, well, and it was obviously like the glue from the wallpaper. So I was probably ingesting toxins.
I have two real quick notes because we ran past it and it does kind of bleed into my final notes. The Omega Revelation code or like sequence, whatever that is, right before Bibleman leaves to fight the drool for the second time, everyone goes into their rooms to pray and meditate. Bibleman comes out and he initiates this protocol, which basically, if he loses, all of the data from the computer and the Bible cave, everything gets erased. He does not want this to fall into the wrong hands, and he does not feel great going into this fight. So these are the stakes. He does this behind Bible Girl and Bible Boy's backs, so they don't know about it. The computer is like, you probably shouldn't do this. And he's like, I gotta.
Which is crazy because they're in there. If it destroys the cave, what if it just fills in with cement?
I know. It is not explained. He might be killing these two children.
Hell yeah.
Young adults, but still. But the reason I go into it's that his willingness to like destroy everything he's created here in the Bible cave. And when he goes off to pray, the thing he's praying about, he's praying, how do I make this about you, God, and not about me? Right? That's what he went on to the Sam Davies show to kind of press to people. That's like, it's not all me. This isn't me. I'm not trying to put on a savior complex. This is about God. I'm a vessel. And I think I'm counting that as a fourth wall break because I do think that's what Ames is going through. We talked about this is like he's got 2 episodes after this episode and he's gone from the show, how much he got put on and like how much.
Well, real quick.
Yeah.
He didn't know he was leaving. He got injured and then during the injury, he was released. So I don't think, but even if it is commentating on like you putting real life things and thoughts to how you're feeling, I don't think that's breaking the fourth wall. That's just like putting real life experiences into your art.
Which is fair. Like I think the reason I'm giving it the fourth wall break is because whether or not this is intentional, and I like with him getting injured, the reason he leaves, I don't think it was intentional. Like he was intentionally saying, this is what I'm planning on doing. This is him putting his experiences into the art, him just kind of writing from a real place. But I think because it is so parallel to what's going on, I'm including it as a fourth wall break. Not a real one, maybe like a half a wall break. Just like maybe a hard knock on the fourth wall.
Okay.
Because how not just like him being spread too thin, these people asking too much of him, but also like something you mentioned before, and I didn't get I forgot to comment on how the company, not Willie Ames, owns both the show, the character, and all the properties attached to it. Like the way Ames talks about this, he talks about it as a ministry. And the way the show's presented sometimes, I wonder if maybe not everyone in the production company felt the same way.
Maybe.
Felt that, you know, how do we make, this isn't a show about God. This is a show about Bibleman, which is Bibleman, which is a very different thing. And I think that that's a great fourth wall light knocking, if it's not a full break, where it's like, this is what's going on. It's very, I don't know. I was very interested in that. I thought that's, and it's a great question, because I don't know if you really wanted to like create a show that was a positive ministry to children, that, and in the best ministries, it doesn't really matter what you believe in. It's helping people. That's all ministry should be. You know, the difference between ministry and colonialism, you don't go in there shoving your beliefs down people's throats. You just kind of help them. How do we make this about God and about helping people and not about Bibleman? And the fact that he doesn't have an answer. He's just like, I don't know. I'm just going to put on the suit one more time. And if I don't win, hey, computer, destroy everything. Yeah, just a very interesting parallel.
It's a good show.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I think it's an interesting show, and it's especially in that what the visuals from the last episode, better than it needs to be. I think it falls short and creates just enough religious youth propaganda that it still makes me uncomfortable. But it's better than it needs to be. I'll give it that.
I would say some episodes, probably because we didn't get the, like, at the end, usually he says, like, hey, kids, if this is happening to you, trust in your pastor and your parents and sometimes police. He never says the police part, but, like, that's it's very much giving the Yogi Bear Dare Bear thing where it's like parents, teachers, police, and it's like, okay, that's the trifecta of shitty authority figures. So
yeah.
This one didn't feel that preachy, but it ends with like him about to be like his head cut off.
Yeah, and like I think if I were to guess, it's the stuff I was just talking about, where this one isn't so much a message to the children. This is sort of a vehicle of self-expression at this point, of a man who was handed the barest concept of an IP, filled everything out, wrote like huge canon lore, all these jokes, all these characters. He's a producer on this as well, right?
Yeah.
Like he's doing so much. And he's not even asking, what am I getting back from it? He's saying, I'm tired. And he's asking, what are we actually creating? Like, what am I actually putting into this world? Is it a ministry? Am I preaching my faith? Or am I just creating another TV show to sell Bibleman action figures? It's very like that's a very personal, heartfelt question, sort of like and like personal crisis. Yeah, no room to spout the virtues of parents, pastors, and police when you're too busy going through an existentialist crisis. I feel that.
Yeah, I really got to tell Sean, listeners, that like, we joke on this show, you know?
That's how I joke. I need to tell James, or remind him, I guess, every time I appear on one of these, this is how I joke.
I've seen him do improv. I've seen him do stand-up. This is not how he jokes. He does set-up punchline yucks.
This is how, welcome to the real me, motherfucker.
The real you is, hanging out with Torchy because you guys live together.
Yeah, and guess what we're talking about? Real deep, sad shit.
You're talking about like, yeah, man, Bibleman, I guess, breaks your fourth wall too much.
I don't know. I think especially when it comes to shows directed towards children with an educational purpose, you need to be extra critical, because that you carry that shit on with you, and you don't examine it until years later when randomly you rewatch it again, and then you see something that's like, oh fuck, that affected how I thought growing up and affects how I think today. Maybe I still agree with that, and maybe I don't, but it's been so like embroiled in my mind because I saw it when I was a kid. we do need to be extra critical with shows directed towards educating children so that they're not educating on some bullshit. That's something I feel very strongly about. And why I love coming on these episodes. Thank you so much for having me.
Maybe that's the difference between you and I. I didn't have to watch anything like this. I was like watching absurdist comedy like Mystery Science Theater and Sam and Max Freelance Police. So,
I was going to say Sam and Max, which is a great, fun, but like also not trying to educate children.
No, yeah, that's... there were some like times where they're like, hey, just false education. Like they would try to teach you something, but it was completely not the thing. But what I'm trying to say is like, I watch this now as just, if I would have seen this as a kid, I think I would have like, man, this shit's rad. But because I was just a kid wanting to consume television opposed to like consume a message within it, because I did watch some VeggieTales and I just liked I thought they were funny.
And to be clear, I think if I was a kid, I would also say this shit's rad. Where I'm coming from it now is both as my inner child and as the parent to my inner child, where it's like, because I had enough shit where I'm like, that shit's rad. And then you go back to it years later and you're like, oh, I became a worse person, at least to the beliefs I have now. I became a worse person because of some theme or incidental message that I took away from that, you know?
And it's probably a good thing for me that once I found out the Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and Santa Claus, those kinds of things weren't real, I'm like, well, then God's not real, right? Like from a very young age, I'm like, I don't even think from a young age I bought into God is real. I just assumed he was like people say he is, so I guess he is. And then I think like when I was 12, I was like, oh, hey, God, if you like, I guess I'll stop masturbating. And then I was like, no, it feels good if like, I don't think God's real. I think masturbation was the fine. Like if God's saying don't do this thing that's rad, I'm not gonna like, he clearly doesn't exist, because if he did, he'd be like, yeah, he'd be jacking off too, saying, yeah, man, this is rad.
Yeah. And then you guys have to ask like, well, hold on. Whose idea was it to make God say masturbation's not rad? Who's profiting off cutting off masturbation?
It's also just like someone misinterpreted it. It's just like, don't spill your seed when like, or no, spilling your just, also I don't have seed anymore. That's why I got vasectomized, so God can't be mad when I'm jazzing in.
Yeah, calm down. And see, and for me, it's like, it's not about whether God, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, and Santa are real or not. I don't know if I believe in real or not. What I believe nowadays is kayfabe, brother. Like, I choose to kayfabe, specifically Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, sometimes God. So they're still real to me, damn it.
Ooh, and you want to know what else is real?
What's that?
Twitch.tv/Goose Kaiser.
Hell yeah, baby. You can listen to me prattle on about how I believe faith is less about believing in something that you cannot prove, and it's more about believing in something and not caring whether or not it's real or not. You're believing because the act of belief is giving back to you and your community. And I play butthole games. So, you know, we do both.
And you want to know what he also gives back with? Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling, and where he does not believe in my ministry of the Dominator.
Ooh, which I'm so glad we do not have time to get into. But you make sure you listen to all of them back episodes to hear the entire lore canonicity of one of the most criminal inventions we have ever devised on podcast.
Nothing criminal about it, guys. I looked at the books.
Canonically been to trial so many times for this.
I found out it's not because it was criminal. It's because the government has devices like that for torture of people. And they're like, well, we can't have commercial torture devices. So they were acting like, oh, well, like this is bad towards dogs. But if it's bad towards dogs, it would also be bad towards human. So they're trying to save face.
So really, the Dominator is a copyright issue.
Yep, kind of. Or a morality issue on their own part.
Damn, well, how about you part a little bit of more places for the fine people to interact with the Marchland Media conglomeration?
Hey guys, head over to patreon.com/MLM pod, where for $5 a month you get exclusive content every single Friday. This Friday is This Existed, discussing Austin stories with Lil Corey. Ooh, and if you're a $10 patron, you get all the weekly stuff plus bonus monthly content. We just did Ghost Shark with Joe from Hit It and Crit It, and you get shoutouts on every single free podcast. So let's begin with those, starting with Steve F., Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour, Alex Z. the Waz, Orion, Jordan B. the Chaos Witch, my Bickle brother in Common Law, Joshua, Jake is Steve Barnes, a sweet child of time, and Intro Void. Listen to his music, my mother, Lil Corey's BFF, and now former roommate Shane. That fed, twitch.tv/Core Winning, it's Corwin. And from the ROM Complex, as well as Formulaic, a podcast and script writing, it's twitch.tv/R2 Shelby2. I've been James.
I've been Sean.
And we've been mostly babbling Bibleman. Bye.
Purple Prancer forever.
This has been a Marchland Media production, produced by James McCollum. For more content, please visit MLMpod.com. To support our network and have access to exclusive podcasts, head over to patreon.com/MLMpod and sign up today. Oh, yeah.